Hey everyone, for case study number 3, I think in order to determine which assessment would be best in this situation, Mandy needs to consider the learning targets that she identified at the beginning of the unit, and she needs to think about which assessment aligns best with those targets and would provide the most reliable data regarding her students' achievement. She also needs to consider which assessment would measure student learning without being influenced by other factors. So, in my opinion, I think Mandy should give the quiz because I feel that's the best way to measure student learning accurately, as long as she ensures that the items that she includes are directly aligned with her learning targets. If the quiz items she chooses to include are not aligned to those targets, it will not be valid or reliable. So in our reading this week, we learned a lot about aligning your response methods that you ask students to use to your learning targets to make sure that you are building the strongest, most reliable assessment for them. So I think she just needs to be really mindful of what she chooses to include on that quiz, but I do think it would be the stronger option. On the other hand, if she were to assign the at-home project as her assessment, the grades taken from that could be influenced by outside factors. You could think about the availability of a parent to help with a project at home, access to supplies for the project, the amount of time that students and their families have to complete the project, or even doing additional research completed outside of the classroom. If students were to find and use other sources to access information to complete the project, then that's really no longer measuring what they learned in the classroom. Instead, that would be measuring their ability to gather information and present it. So since your learning objective is no longer clear, your grades would be skewed. Mandy's also in this situation because of a lack of time due to the snow days. And a quiz can be completed in a class period, but a project usually takes several days or weeks to complete depending on the parameters that she gives her students. So she would have to wait to collect those projects and grade them while moving on to another unit with her class. So it prolongs the amount of time that she would need to fully close out the unit and to be able to communicate about student progress with the students and their families at the conclusion of that unit. So I do think that the quiz is a stronger assessment for her in this situation, especially because she is short on time.